Hi guys, we love you here. We're just going to talk about a little bit more of the Chris Watts case as new details came out on the Dr. Phil, which we'd already talked about before that ever came out, and with our perception of what went on and our opinions and our little discussions that we have. Everybody has their right to their opinion, and you know what? There is still people out there that still believe. Now, I'm one of them probably. Still don't believe a word he's saying. Okay, there's reasons why he came out and spoke up when he could have just served his time. He pled guilty. He didn't give no reason why he pled guilty to all counts, but that's what he pled guilty to. And then what made him speak to the investigators and such urgency for them to spend all that money to go and talk to him to get these final details of what actually happened the night she came home? Those early hours of the morning until she got in that door. What happened? What were the events leading up to the outcome? Well, now he decides, you know, like his father said, he's found God. He knows the Bible inside out. Well, I really don't care, because everybody that goes to a place like that finds Jesus. They always use the Bible for a crutch. I mean, it drives me crazy. Yeah, okay then. You have found Jesus and you've read the Bible. Well, maybe that's because that's the only information he can read right now. Who knows? But you know what? But that doesn't really matter if he found God or not. The point is, what made him talk to the investigators? What prompted this? Is he up to no good? Is he planning on doing something? Is he? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in the future. Because, you know, he'll be closely watched right now. He'll be closely watched. Because I don't know if he's going to attempt to harm himself or let others harm him. Do you know what I mean? Like, things do happen. But I don't know. Now, do we believe everything that was said? Is he lying? Is he lying again? Well, we say lying again, lying again. He never gave a statement. The only statement he gave when he was being interviewed was prompt. It was prompt because he was listening. He was being given advice. He was given options, and he went with it. And this is where he went with it after being interviewed. Taking the lie detector, them telling him he's a liar. He didn't pass, he failed. And so his father gave him an option, yeah, and he kind of went with that. So he kind of came up with his story being in the interview room. It seems that way. But as time goes by, he gave up and pled guilty to all counts and to serve his time. Now, he probably didn't think that he would be coming to Wisconsin. He probably thought he'd be staying in Colorado. But what the hell? They are saying that there was a few prisons that were not going to take him. They were not going to take him for one reason or another. Not because he's high profile, because these prisons, these states that do exchange prisoners for whatever reason, deal with high-profile cases all the time. But it could have been they're too, they don't have the facilities, too busy, it's too packed. They don't have the room at this time. So there could have been a number of factors why he didn't go to other states. Maybe they just plain didn't want to spend the money on him because this case is too hot. And there is another, Wisconsin is getting sick and tired. They are. I live in Wisconsin. But, people in Waupun love it because, you know what? It brings money into their county. Yeah, they like that. And they don't have a problem with these massive prisons in their neighborhood. They're used to it. And like I said, money talks, bullshit walks. So bring them in. Come on, bring them in. But they are getting a bit sick of, they want this case to go away. They want it to die down. But this case is very given. It's very given. It keeps giving. And it won't stop giving. And the reason is not because of a murder that happened, because this happens all the time. Things like this happen every single day. But it's the way and it's the how and the not knowing. You kill your wife and children, but he went beyond that. He killed his wife and children, dragged them out the house, put them in the truck, and we know where they ended up. And that itself was the cruelest part. The cruelest part after the deed. But now, as the case goes on and new information has been released, now we find out that, and we have not heard the actual tapes yet, the actual video, the audio, or read the transcripts. They won't be out until tomorrow. It's the 6th today, 6th of March, 2019. They won't be released until probably midnight tonight, the 7th of March. And sometime tomorrow. We won't be able to read or listen to what exactly the words he used. We want to listen to the exact words, how he said it, what was in his voice. We want to listen to that and we want to read it. Because even though Shannon's parents, for some goddamn reason, went on Dr. Phil and wanted to get their story out, they wanted to tell the public and the lawyer, by their lawyer, what happened. And they used these words. And some of the stories they said that happened doesn't jive. It does not jive. Now, are you making these up? Is it your words you're using? You've just changed the words a little bit? Just change the words a little bit. Like Sandy was supposed to have said, she said, they're saying Bella's last words. Okay. Now we're trying to determine what Bella's last words were. Hell, my God. Okay. She supposedly said, what are you doing with mommy? What's mommy under the sheets, or whatever she said. I don't know what she said exactly. We'll find out what exactly Chris said, that Bella said, and what happened exactly. Now, Sandy is now worried about if she mentioned her, and that she probably said, well, I want my grampy. I want my, Sandy and Frankie, she's hoping that was her last words to her dad. But I don't think this kid's words were that. She was having the blinking life choked out of her. Now, they're saying these kids weren't strangled. They're saying the kids weren't strangled. They did at first at the reports and all that, and about the autopsies, and said that they weren't suffocated by a pillow, and they weren't suffocated by, you know, any kind of material, because there was no fibers. There's no fibers down their throat to say they were smothered with any kind of device, a pillow, a blanket, a toy, you know what I mean. Now, this is what the autopsy and they say happened. So they said he could not have smothered them. He could not have smothered them. He could not have strangled them, neither. Okay, because you know Chris Watts said he smothered them, and then he suffocated them, and then the strangled was brought in. So these little things were like, which is it? Did he smother them? Did he suffocate them? Did he strangle them? Now, there's no evidence that he strangled him. But now, see, this is when I get confused here. I want to know if he smothered them. Like one of the statements said, he smothered Cece with her own favorite little blankie. But they're saying there's no fibers in her mouth, you know, down her throat, just to say something like that. Now, is it possible that there wouldn't be? Well, anything's possible. So that part is a little strange, to say that she was smothered with her favorite blanket and that Bella was watching, you know, because now it says that, you know, as we know, you know, the surveillance from the next door neighbors said he got in the car. But as we watching it, as we all were watching it from the beginning, we didn't see much. Now, it's time release, you know, it has to have movements. So you're watching something, but it's not actually recording everything until somebody is moving. So there's some gaps there. So we didn't absolutely see everything that was going on. Actually, we never see him bring Shanann out. Not really. But we did see movement underneath the car. Like when the door opened, he was putting something in, taking something out. And, you know, like the shadows, like from the lights. And, you know, we did see that, but we didn't really know what it was. Because we all were thinking, even the police, only because Chris Watts had told his story. He said that Shanann, he caught them in the room, on the child monitor, in the bedroom. He went downstairs, he came up moments later, and he caught her on the baby monitor, and he went into the room and started choking her. Right there and then in the room. So from there, they're just assuming, we are all assuming that because he'd never talked about nothing and never admitted to that, that's where it happened. And now there's another thing about, you know, KN, you know, Nicole, whatever. And I hate to say her name, but we know who we're talking about. She made a statement saying that Chris was doing laundry, and she thought it was odd doing laundry at that time of night, but funny enough, she was doing laundry this as well. And what the hell, what you doing up at this time of night? Well, you're up that time of night too. But she said something about, Chris said he's doing laundry because his kids' sheets smell. But that's what she said. Now we all went with that because this is one of her statements that she made, that he said. Now, Why would he say that? But anyway, that was just one statement saying. So we kind of all went with saying that, and we were hoping, I guess we were all hoping that that's kind of how it happened. They were, you know, gone before she got home, or during that morning, early hours of the morning on the 13th. But it turns out that's not the case. It turns out that he had put them in there. One was sleeping, I guess. You see, you don't know if he gave these kids any kind of sleeping drug a little bit, because we're all saying that, I bet we're all saying, well, I'm thinking it, that if you have an argument, why do you have to come in the middle of the morning and then start having an argument? Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? What was the argument over? Apparently, we know she was on the phone at 2:30 ordering her hair dye. Now, she has to have been alive then. Now, this could have been another reason. They could have been arguing, because I'd like to know why they were arguing for right off the bat. And then they sort of made up. Now, who does that? And then they make up, have an argument, and they make up, and now they start having another argument. After 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever the time was. And this is when whatever's being said, because we'll probably know tomorrow what the exact words were being used, what they arguing about. We don't know why they're arguing in the first place. But then they argued again, and this is when he tells her, okay, I want out of this marriage. I want a divorce. I want out of this marriage, blah, 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 blah. And she turns around and tells him, you'll never see the children again. See, this is what you never threaten a person with, okay? Don't bring the kids into your problems. This is number one. Okay, she's been suspecting this forever, for a long time. It states that in Texas to friends, and she's talking to friends. It's expects that she's been expecting it, but never believed it, because he don't have game. You see, he don't have game. She would think that he don't know how to have another relationship and how to talk to another woman. But that's been reported. But obviously he does, because he has been. And this might not have been the first woman. There's other people that's come out and said the same thing. Some debunked, some it's outrageous. And there's another one it could be possible that is true. But anyway, he's sneaky, and obviously he's been lying for a long time. Now, this ain't the first time it was ever spoken of divorce. Now, we know that, guys, because we're going back on Texas. We're going back on some information, the interviews by people that Shannon was talking to the lawyer. Well, he just happened to be there, and she just happened to ask the questions. And not only that, her and her friends were talking about it in Texas. Yes, they were talking about it in Texas. And so this conversation wasn't brought up from the first time from Chris Watts. It was brought up by Shannon to her friends. So they both are thinking about divorce, but they never really got on with it. It's just up and down. They think about divorce and they say, oh, I'll save the marriage. Then think about divorce and save the marriage. And think about divorce and say, damn, I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to lose my big house. I'm going to lose all my stuff. Whatever comes into the conversation, your mind of when you split up. Of course, when you split up, somebody's going to lose out on big time. Okay, that's just the way it is. But it's not. Both parties can fight for custody for their children. And one, obviously, is going to have them all the time. It's just the way it is. It's just, if you get a good lawyer and you can prove a few things. You know, that's all it takes. We know kind of what it's like. Those people have been through custody issues. It can go on for years. If you can't sort it out yourself and come to an agreement yourself. Now, okay, we got that far. We got to the argument with the divorce, and she says, you'll never see my children again. Like I said in my last video, I said, you know, people were saying that, no, this man didn't love his children. No, he didn't love his wife. What, never? Ever? Now, we don't know. This is the reason why people can snap and kill people. They do. But okay, he could have fought that, and he did kill her out of rage, and things got out of control. If he had left things like they were, left the kids like they were okay, and called the police right away, he could have fought this and maybe served a few years, or served 20 years. He could have fought it, but he didn't. He carried on with the deed, and he did the most horrific thing a parent could do to their child. And this is what he did, though. Yes, apparently, you know, he had taken the kids. They were in the truck. He could not have put them in the... I don't know if he put them in seatbelts. We know he didn't take the car seats. We know that because they were in the in their truck in the garage. We know he didn't take the car seats. He wasn't thinking about... Listen, he wasn't worried about car seats in the car. The last thing on his mind was putting car seats so his kids could be safe in a car seat. Hell, if the cops are going to stop that, the worst thing is he has a dead body in his car. That is much worse than getting a ticket for a blinking no car seats. So he wasn't worried about that. This man had a dead body in his car to worry about if he ever got stopped by the police. Now, he wasn't going to get stopped by the police because, you know, the truck he was driving, he wasn't speeding, you know, blah, blah, blah. So he was following the rules, you know. There's no reason for him to get stopped. And we know he never got stopped anyway. So he goes to the site, the work site. Now, we all know that it's... Chris took this job on the Friday after dropping Shanann off at the airport where she went to Arizona. Now, he comes back and he bumps into his buddy. And then Chris said, I'll do the job. Survey. 3:19, whatever, that Monday morning. It was arranged then. And then on the weekend with the Texas, it was just confirming. It was all confirming. So we know that, and people were saying that it was premeditated because he took that job on the Sunday. He didn't. He took it on the Friday. And so that's the end of that, because his co-worker confirmed that, and they were talking about the fire stick, and all that and the other. So that was all confirmed. Now, they're saying about people that annihilate their family. They're saying that mostly white males in their 30s, this is what they're saying, mostly white males in their 30s who murder their entire families. Yeah, and it's white men that do this. It's mostly white men in their 30s. I don't know where they come up with this, but annihilators. The technical term is familicide, which basically refers to killing one's partner and spouse or spouse and one or more of the children. But they say that's often followed by suicide. Often followed by suicide. But we know that he didn't commit suicide. He just tried to make up a stupid story. on national TV by several crews. So while he was on the TV, because I don't think this was his plan. This was not his plan to be on national TV. It was not his plan whatsoever. I don't even think he had a plan. He was going with the flow. Because his plan was, if it wasn't premeditated, it just happened on the spur of the moment that Monday morning when she came through that door and all hell broke loose, whatever. We're thinking now, it wasn't really, people were saying it was a planned thing, but now we're thinking, we don't think it was a planned thing, because he's coming out with this, the truth, the confession, and the confession that he never made in the first place. Now he's saying it with his own words. Now, are we to believe that it was not a planned thing? Well, if it's true, what happened, he got mad. Yes, it's true, it was not a planned thing. But as the kids were alive still, and were put in a vehicle, and traveled 40 minutes in a vehicle, this is premeditated. This becomes a whole different story. He can't get away with rage. He snapped. Not if this is true. This is exactly what happened. He can't get away with it. So that makes it a planned thing. And God knows what the hell he was thinking when he was driving along with a dead body in his car and 2 children, thinking, what the hell am I gonna do? And of course, we know he's on his way to work. He's on his way to work. What the hell can I do? What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna put him? And blah, 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 blah. Well, he comes up with this great idea. This is where he's gonna put him. And apparently, that's what he did with him. We can't say much else because apparently, Sandy and Frank have spoken. Their lawyer has spoken and said that this is, and friends have spoken out that have spoken to Chris. I mean, this is what they're saying. This is what they've heard from the horse's mouth. Yes, they've heard it because they listened to the tapes, and one of them said she spoke to him. And this is what he said. So that was probably the spur of the moment. Well, I know we could have said he could have dug a few more holes and put them in there, right? Or he could have put them all together, but he didn't. We just wondered why. That he would think about putting those little ones where he did, then putting them in the dirt. Why did he do that to them? And if it's all true, like I said in my last video, I hope to God they were gone before he stuffed them in there, because their little bodies weren't even cold yet. They weren't even cold. And he put them in there. And they're saying that their arms and whatever had to be broken. Listen, if you've just taken away somebody's life, they're not going to be stiff. They're limp. My goodness, they're limp. So, and you know what? He went through all that effort to open all that. And it takes a lot of effort to open those seals and all those nuts and bolts that they got to undo, put back on, and so forth. Why didn't he just put them in with them all together in the dirt? Because I tell you, what was he going to do with Shanann? Leave her like that? just say she didn't get found, you know, and he didn't tell them where she was, and they didn't find the sheet, and he didn't put them at his work site, but he put them somewhere. He was going to go back later and do what? He was going to do what with her? We don't know that part. We don't know part. So what do you think, guys? After hearing the Dr. Phil interview, you know, kind of, you know, bits and pieces, blah, blah, blah. They're not telling you much. More commercials than there is anything. Little snippets. What was the point of doing this? Last time we heard this before information, it was 2020. It was this and that. They were doing interviews. I mean, what's the point? We knew more about anything before these interviews come out. 2020 came out and interviewed them. We're like, what the hell are you talking about? You know, that was crazy. It was the worst interview ever. And now they go on Dr. Phil, and apparently they're the ones that called Dr. Phil. They wanted to get their statement out first. Why do you want to get your statement out first? Well, I hate to say it, but it all comes down to money. Oh, yeah. You don't think they're getting their story and making Dr. Phil famous and getting the first dibs and getting the exclusive rights to this information before it is, or the audio is let out. He's getting privy to it. He didn't hear the audio himself. He's just hearing the words from her mother and father and the lawyer. But you know what? That is not first-hand knowledge, is it? That is hearsay. Yeah. So what kind of exclusive is this? You get the audio first. You listen to the audio. That's what I mean. That's as exclusive as you can get. But they're hearing it second-hand, third-hand knowledge. Anyway, I just think it comes down to money. And that's just my opinion, guys. They're getting paid. And they're getting paid a lot. And this case needs to go away. It really does. Everybody's talking about it. And I'm talking about it. And I tried not to. But you know what? It's still popular. So, and there's always new things coming out. But since he's been put in Wisconsin, there wasn't much to talk about. It should have died down. But now everybody's reopened it again. We know we wanted him to talk. We wanted him to confess. But actually, we wanted him to confess before now. Because before he could blame the Bible. Oh, I found God. You know, before all that, he could have made a statement, and he could have done this way earlier than he has done now. Now, people are saying that he's still defending NK. He's still defending her, and now people are saying she's had his baby. Oh my God. Now, who knows if that's true or not, but I'm just saying the rumors are flying out that she's had a baby. Now, I don't know how they're finding that out, because nobody knows where the hell she is or what she's doing. She can't find her in the system. She's got several names, you know, several names. But anyway. Now, if that was ever true, guys, which I don't know it's true or not. I just don't know about that one. But anyway, if it was ever true, and this is the case, she's keeping it mighty secret. And she couldn't have had the baby right now. It's only March, early March. Now, this is by me telling you that if she said she was only dating him from the end of June, beginning of July, there's no way she could have a baby right now, is there? Unless she had it real early, premature. Now, that part makes sense. But she hasn't gone the 9-10 months pregnant, okay? Oh my God. Do you know what I mean? Now, if that was ever true, she had a baby by him or she's pregnant, that he decides to speak now to put an end to this case so nobody accuses her of having any involvement. That's all I'm saying. That could be the reason if she was pregnant and having his baby, which I don't know if that is true. It's just a rumor going around, guys. Just a rumor. Thought I'd pass it on. It's just a rumor. It's not fact. It's just another rumor. Like the rumors going around where what I reported was he put them in the car. They were in the vehicle. And that was like, no way. But it turns out to be, yeah, it is way. That's exactly what happened. But that's what's happened. And we'll see what the audio says tomorrow, what his exact words were, and how the investigators asked him. What was their questions? And really, what was the purpose of them being there? And who called who? People were saying that they called him. And people were saying, no, he called them. Now, as for Chris Watts talking to his dad every single night, now, I don't know exactly what the prison rules are. But you know what? I do know that some prisoners only get a certain amount of phone calls per week. But it depends where you are, because there's other people that can talk all the time. But that's maybe because before they get convicted, that they can make a lot of phone calls. But once you're in prison, you only get so many phone calls. Some people say you only get one phone call a week, a 15-minute phone call. Some say you get 2 or 3 calls a week. But this business about he can make a phone call every single night. Like his dad said, we speak every single night. But that was secondhand information, because he told that to the news anchor, the one who was interviewing him. See, some of his words might have got twisted. He could have said, I speak to my son a lot, not every single night. You know, he might not have used those exact words. See, we don't know what words he said, because I don't know. Can he call his family every single night? I don't know. But why not? I'm just saying, why not? The prison system is out to get money. You call somebody, prison is making money. That's all I'm saying. But I still don't think you can call out every night. But if you can call out every night, the prison is the one making money. They're making mucho money out of these phone calls. And they're making money out of emails. Now, they can use a computer. It is programmed only to do certain things, and it is monitored. So if they do receive or get an email, it is monitored just like their mail is. Their mail going in and their mail going out. Well, it's the same way with the email. But they also get charged for those emails. They get charged for them sending them. And they get charged for emails coming in. So now they're making money on emails. The prison system is making mucho money on emails. That's the time. That's how it is this day and age. So guys, there is a little update there. Everybody is waiting with anticipation on what were his exact words and why were they there. Did they have new information they wanted to talk to him about? Nah. I just don't think so. This case, it doesn't matter. We know that what he did it, right? He's serving life. He'll never get out. no matter what. So they have no right to come in. They can't do nothing else to him. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. It's over with. So he must have called them. And out of the kindness of their heart, and of course, Colorado will make money on this because you have to pay for these releases. People are paying for them. It's going to be released, but you're going to pay money first to get them released. Yeah, so they're going to make more money on this. They're getting their money back no matter what. So he called them and they discussed, shall we do this? What will serve the purpose of taking his statement, his confession? Well, they went ahead and did it. They felt that this may be the only chance to get a confession out of him, because he never really spoke before. Well, he did, but it was all a bunch of lies, right? And who's to say it's a bunch of lies now? Because you know what? Chris Watts I really think that he don't like their family, okay? So this is just my opinion. Reverse psychology here. He's going to make them feel even worse than they felt before. He wants that feeling inside them. Do you know what I mean, guys? He wants them to feel the worst they can feel ever. He wants them to feel this hurt even more than it was in the beginning, because this is even worse than it was in the beginning. So he may want to hurt them. He may want everybody to hate his guts, and he wants them to suffer. Yeah, that could be his game plan, okay? Because I don't even think he likes his mother that much. Okay, what did his mother do? Well, we know what she said. We kind of get the drift, what kind of mother she was. But that doesn't mean... Look, she didn't like her for a reason, and I don't know what the reason is. Did she not like other girlfriends the same way? Because apparently he only had one girlfriend, and that was her. Serious one. The rest, she don't even seem to know about other women. So little mama's boy is leaving, and another powerful woman is taking over. Just like Patrick Swayze with his mama. See? Little mama's boy. But I just don't think... I think Chris didn't like his mother very much in the first place. And he gets on better with his dad. Or maybe he don't want his mother involved because he know how she reacts. But his mother is going to have to come to terms with this, and whatever he says, she's going to have to come to terms with it to be the gospel truth. And you know what? She's probably still going to deny it. No way. No way. He's just saying this. He's just saying this is another blinking story he's making up to whatever. She may even still be in denial, because as we're all saying, a lot of us are saying that we just don't believe a word that's coming out of his mouth. It's just another story. It's just another... he's just making it sound uglier than it ever was. And that's his gameplay. He wants it to sound real ugly. He don't like them anymore. He wants them to feel bad. And now this is all coming out, they're still going to be wondering. Now there's more to wonder about and ponder about. Oh, there's more. It's not going to be over until he shuts his mouth and goes away, or something happens to him. And it will die down eventually. It will die down. Because, you know, him confessing, there's a lot of people going to believe it. They're going to believe it, and they're going to put it into it. But As I said, there's people saying that he's a blinking liar and he don't know what the truth is. Now he's just come up with another story. Well, could be well true, but this really could have been the truth. So guys, let's have a discussion, your opinion, your thoughts on these events. And do you really feel that this is the truth? And guys, please like and share and sub to my channel. And thank you for stopping by.